Hi everyone. So I did do a test and it's not my headphones. I don't know what happened to that video or why it has that sound. However, God doesn't want me to delete them. He said, leave them where they are. In due course, the words will come. I was like, okay. So he did want me to come back on here and give more testimony. So on Tuesday of this week, Joey, the young man that I've been helping through his turmoil of losing his best friend, the woman that he fell in love with, Mariah. And Ben has been, oh my gosh, he has been amazing. He has really stepped up and he's really become someone that this young man can talk to. And I've watched the evolution of this young man's change. And he looks at Ben and I like beacons of light. He knows that when he's not feeling good, when he's not feeling strong, when he's feeling like he's losing control of everything, he knows he can go to Ben, talk to Ben, and get a male's perspective. And God is so strategic. He is teaching Ben how to be a father. And he is teaching me how to be a partner. To help this boy in our strengths. I am a mother because I have had children. I understand how to nurture and support. Shh. Stop. Stop. Sorry, guys. Enough! My neighbor's being mean to my dog. She's knocking on my wall, trying to make him cry. She doesn't know I'm home. So, this young man has been going through these trials and tribulations, trying to understand what is happening to him. And I recognized something that was happening to him before it even became an issue. And I asked Ben, I said, hey, can you keep an eye on him? Can you help me watch when him and the GM are together? I don't like what I heard. I don't like what was said to this young man. Ben didn't, he was like, huh? But he was diligent. He, paid attention, but he didn't know what he was looking for. On Tuesday morning, or this was towards the afternoon, I normally I work a mid shift on Tuesdays. And the young man says to me, Diana, Will hurts me. And I said, then say no. And he goes, I can't. I said, yes, you can. You can say no. And Ben is standing between the two of us, listening to this conversation. And I said to this young man, I said, there is power in your no. You can say no. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't think I'm strong enough. And I said, yes, you are. You are strong enough. You are brave enough. You can do this. You can say no. And Ben just hung his head like he understood what was happening to this young man. And he walked away. Whenever he walks away, it's because he's thinking. He's going through the conversation and he's trying to figure out how to best move forward. And that night, when Ben was out delivering pizzas, his tire blew out and he couldn't fix it. And I remember in the morning, the next morning, so this happened on Tuesday night, I open on Wednesday mornings. So I came in on Wednesday morning and I was sitting out in the patio waiting for the manager to show up, the GM, Will. And God began to have me pray over Ben. And I was like, is he in trouble? And he goes, just pray. And so, like always happens, when I pray, God leads me to say the words that he wants me to say, not the words I think I should say. And so I covered his car in the blood of the Lamb. I asked for protection. I asked for no weapon formed against him would prosper. I asked for that, he would just be a safe place for Ben and for me. And so I was setting up the morning for the day, and Ben walks in the front door, and I'm like, what are you doing? Wait, you're walking in the wrong door. And he goes, my car's in the shop. I'm like, no. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, and I'm not supposed to get it back till after 10:30. I'm hoping, which means I'm praying, that I'll get it back soon. I'm like, okay. All of a sudden, Ben came out and he's like, whoa, my car's done. And so he went and asked the GM if it was okay for Joey to give him a ride to pick up his car. And the GM said, no, I'll give you a ride. You see, the GM has already told Ben to stay away from me, to leave me alone. And now, because he sees that Ben and I are talking, and I was led by God to ask for Saturday, Sunday off, because there's another girl that started recently, and she's being given Saturday, Sundays off. But because she's working another job on Saturdays and Sundays. And so God said, you need to let the GM know that you want those days off going forward. And so when I asked him for those days off, he kind of gave me the, no, I want to keep the schedule like it is for right now. And I was like, okay. Father said, leave it alone. He said, just ask for it and then leave it alone. Whatever he says, leave it alone. I'm like, okay. I didn't throw a fit. I didn't say, it's not fair. I've been working. None of that. Remember, God goes before us. Now, before I walked up to the GM to ask him for Saturday, Sunday off permanently, I said, Father, I pray that you have gone before me and you have made my path straight, and that I have already received the yes that I am looking for. And so even though in the natural it was no, not now, I said, Father, I leave it in your hands. I am not going to put myself in your way. And so this was the day before, when I asked Will for the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday off. So now Ben is asking for Joey to take him to go pick up his car. And Will says, no, I'm going to take you. And then proceeds to have Ben help him install 2 TVs. And so they're talking. But what Ben doesn't realize is that Will is watching him to see where his attention is diverted to, because I'm in the front. I'm working and I'm listening to my music and I'm dancing and I'm singing and I'm just being me. I'm not doing it to impress anyone. I'm not doing it to show off for anyone. I'm just being me. And so Will is watching Ben to see what Ben is doing, where his attention is being driven. And Will is a very detailed kind of man. He can pretty much know what's going on with people. That's how he knew something was going on with me and Ben. But I was also watching him. And I was like, okay, so you're going to get in my business. I don't like that. I don't want you in my business. I don't want you knowing anything about me because it's none of your business. You're my boss, not my father, not my husband. You're nobody. Okay? You're not my God. So get out of the way. And so him and Ben leave. Will arrives back. Of course, Ben is picking up his car, so it's going to take him a little bit longer because he's got to pay for everything and get in his car and then drive away. And so then Ben shows up. And he's not acting different, but he's acting different. And I was like, what happened? And then, so I asked Will, I said, hey, what's my schedule? Because Thursday was my last day in the store. And I said, so what's my schedule for next, am I still working Monday morning at 9 o'clock? And he goes, no. I'm like, no, I'm not. He goes, no, you're working at 10:30 through rush. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I said, hey, well, just to let you know, I get it. I understand why you want me to wait a little bit. And I'm okay with that. And he goes, no, I gave you the weekend off. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, I gave you Saturday, Sunday off. I was like, okay. So, Thursday morning, so this was on Wednesday. Thursday morning, I come in a little bit later. But I came in early because Father said, go in early. And then somehow I ended up in the back talking to Ben. And we're talking about outfits. And he's telling me about, I'm like, so do you always wear jeans? And he goes, no, I have jeans at home. He goes, I have like 5 pairs. And he goes, but it's dwindling down. I'm like getting rid of more and more jeans because I don't wear them anywhere. I'm like, oh, okay, so you wear shorts everywhere? And he goes, yeah. And he says, but there's certain clothes that I don't wear shorts with because they won't look right. And he goes, I have a blazer and I like looking sharp sometimes, and I'll wear that. And my friends make fun of me, but I don't care. I said, you know what? I remember when I was a kid, I had this black and brown striped dress, and it went past my knees, but it was a very elegant dress, and I paired it with these black booties. And so I went to my grandma's house, and my uncle was like, you going on a date? I was like, dude, I'm only 12. What's wrong with you? I'm like, no, I'm just dressing up because I want to dress up. So he made me feel self-conscious, so I didn't dress up as much as I would like. And then Ben mentioned that he likes dresses that go all the way down to the floor. And I said, I actually have a white sundress that goes all the way down to the floor. And I said, I love it. And I said, but I have to be careful when I wear it because apparently guys think that they need to approach me and talk to me when I'm wearing that dress. And I'm just like feeling self-conscious, like, no, no. And so in this entire time, the last 2 weeks, I feel like we're doing a full circle. The first time we had these conversations, Ben was not ready. Ben was not available to a relationship. Now, Ben is ready. He is available. And now we're having these conversations again, but this time with God's blessing. And it's completely different. This time, the GM didn't bother us at all. Like, he left us completely alone. He knew I was in the back talking to Ben. But he didn't come back there to see what was going on. He didn't send any of his employees to see what was going on. What conversation Ben and him had the day on Wednesday when he went to pick up his car, I don't know. Maybe one day when Ben and I are together and he'll tell me, but until that day, I'm in the dark. I don't know. So It has been full circle moments consistently around and around and around and around. God has been having me go shopping. Like, I have money in my bank account and I don't know how I don't know how. Because I was barely making ends meet. I was struggling to get from one paycheck to the next. I was trying very hard to get myself in a position where I could save money. And I have money in my account. And I'm just like, okay. But I'm not rushing to spend it. So yesterday, God led me to go out because it was my day off. So it was Friday. He said, go get another massage because I had already had one. And he said, go get another massage. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, oh, go to Victoria's Secret and get some more undergarments. And I was like, okay. But here's the thing. God was like, tell Ben what you're going to be doing today. And I'm like, he doesn't need to know? And he goes, yeah, he does. I'm like, you have to get used to to telling someone where you're going. And he's your husband, so you need to tell him where you're going. And I was like, okay. So I was obedient, and I sent him a text, and I said, so today is a self-care day. I'm going to go, it starts with my massage, then I'm going to get a pedicure. I didn't make it to a pedicure, but I'm going to get one on Sunday, since I get out early. So I'm going to get a pedicure tomorrow. But yesterday I went and I got my massage. But before I went to my massage, God sent me to go to lunch. And I was like, okay, I can eat lunch at my favorite place and have, my favorite roasted turkey sandwich. And I did. I ate the whole thing. Didn't leave anything behind. And then God goes, I want you to go to Victoria's Secret. And I was like, okay. But I thought it was the Victoria's Secret where I was going. Instead, this little girl walks in. God is so strategic. This little girl walks in and she's got a Victoria's Secret bag. And I was like, of course, there's a Victoria's Secret store here. And so I looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, it was right around the corner. As I was going around the corner, I kid you not, this is, okay, if any of you know that symbol, these are Oakleys, full circle, okay? I had a pair of Oakleys when I first moved out of my old place with my ex-husband, okay, my house. My son's dog destroyed my Oakleys, and I have never bought another pair since. Okay. These are my new sunglasses, my new Oakleys, okay? Okay, now I want you to see something. These are the ones that I bought from Target. Do you see that? How strategic God is. How he showed me that this is exactly what he wanted me to get. Because he had me get these at Target, and they were $13. Okay, and I'm okay wearing these. But God brought me to this store, and they're in purple. The shades are in purple, and the little dots right here are in purple, and they look exactly the same. The only difference is these are wider, whereas mine are more narrower. Kind of tell you that they're female, more demure, I guess you could call it. And he also led me to buy a second pair, and I was like, really, Bob? And he goes, buy the second pair. I'm like, what's the second pair for? I only need one pair of sunglasses. He goes, you'll see. So I have a feeling he's going to have me give them to Ben. But we'll see. We shall see. Anyway, so I go to the Oakley store. I buy the Oakleys. And I didn't pay for full price for both of them. It was buy one, get one 50% off. And they were the exact same amount. So I was like, cool. So on I go to Victoria's Secret, and they're having a sale. an anniversary sale. 10 underwear for $40 and $20 bras. So I bought 2 bras and 10 underwear. And a lip gloss, because God said, get a lip gloss. I'm like, okay. Then I finally get to the massage. I was late. Oh, as I'm coming out of Victoria's Secret, all of a sudden, my networks on my phone died. Like, nothing was accessing. I ordered an Uber. Uber canceled it because they couldn't access the system either. So then God says, get on the bus and get out of this area, and then you'll be able to order an Uber. I tried calling the place where I was getting my massage to let them know I was going to be late. The man was texting me, calling me. I don't know. I honestly don't know why the system went down. But this is the same. I don't know if you remember, but I went through a stage in December where I didn't have a phone. My car didn't have a battery. I was stuck, didn't have a job, didn't have any money. But God was feeding me like He feeds the birds. And I just had to get out of my own head and say, okay, and see what God was doing in my life. And this was 2 years ago. And now I'm coming full circle. He said back then, give me 2 years. I met Ben last year. And here we are in our 2nd year of knowing each other. And on Thursday night, there was a situation with 2 inserts that were stuck so tightly together, nobody could pull them apart. So I'm like, you guys just don't know how to pull them apart. Just give it to me and I'll take care of it. So I'm standing there and I'm pushing them, one side, then the other, and I could feel it give way. And I'm using my fingers to kind of wedge the separation. Ben walks in. And if you guys remember me saying something about when I was putting away the equipment and Joey was heckling me because I almost hit my head and I wasn't, I was just too short and blah, blah, blah. And I told him, instead of standing there watching me struggle, why not just help me? I said, I know I like doing things on my own, but I also know I need help. And I said, but what does that say about you if you're standing there watching me struggle and you're not helping me? And Ben was listening to all of this because he was standing right there. And every time I have a conversation with Joey about something like this, Ben's standing right there listening to what I'm saying. And so I'm struggling with these inserts, and Ben walks in from a drive. And most guys would be like, let a real man handle this. You're too weak. Let me show you what a real man can do. They always belittle you. They always put you down in the context of trying to show you that they are manly men. And Ben looks at me and he goes, here, give it to me. And I said, okay. So I handed him over to him. And he pushed him aside, like he separated them like they weren't in there tight. And I was like, of course. And so he says, here you go. And he goes to wash his hands. And then I went around the corner and I said, Joseph, here you go. It's a different Joey. So Joey is a younger guy. Joseph is an older, still young, but older than Joey. And he's a manager in training, or a crew chief, or no, a team leader in training. And so I hand him the inserts and he goes, oh, you got them all? You got them to separate? And I said, no, actually that was Ben. And then, so I turned around, I'm like, Ben, I had it. I had already started releasing. He goes, let me guess. You had loosened it up already? And I'm like, yes, I did. And of course, he kind of smiled a little bit. And then I turned around and I I came back around and I said, thank you, Ben. Had he stepped to me in a aggressive, manly, worldly way, saying, putting my feminine feelings in question, you know, my ability as a woman, my ability as being a strong, independent woman, if he had come at me and said, you're too weak for this, or let the stronger sex take care of this, or something to that effect, I would not have given him the inserts. I would have been like, no, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Because I would have asserted myself against a man who was trying to take away my ability to know that I can depend on myself. And the way he did it was so calm. And I did send him a text saying, the way you took the inserts from me, you were so calm. You were assertive, calm, and at peace. And because of that, I responded to that. I've never had that before. I've never had a man be assertive, yet calm, and at peace. It was always coming from a place of insecurity, of mistrust, of just ignorance. And to have someone treat me like I'm not beneath him, but he is here to be my support. He is here to help me. And that was what having this young man between us and helping him. And I've been telling Ben, I'm like, I have not seen this behavior in Joey since I first met him. I said, it is so cool to hear him say, as he's ending his shift, he's clocked out, and he goes, I'm going to go talk to Ben before I leave. And I was like, you know how good that feels, Ben? To know that he has someone he can go to. It's not even about me. I don't care that if he never wanted to talk to me, I'd be fine with it, as long as he talked to Ben. But he feels like he can trust us. He feels like he can come to us with a situation. And I didn't pressure Joey. I didn't push him. I didn't nag him. I didn't constantly berate him and say, hey, you got to talk to me. You got to tell me what's going on. I let him come to me in his own time. And when he did, when he finally opened up to me, it was in front of Ben. And the reason he opened up to me in front of Ben is because he felt safe. He felt that we would care for his heart, for his life, for his being, because he is a good boy. He is a good young man. Misunderstood? Yes, but he is still good at heart. And he said to me, as he was pulling out the trays from the refrigerator, the trays of pizza dough, he looks at me and he says, Dana, Will hurts me. He makes me cry. And I said, Joey, you can say no. You can say no. There is power in your no. You can say no. And he says, I don't think I can. I said, yes, you can. You can say no. That hair just keeps popping out of place. Fine. I'll send you to the back. Behave yourself. And I think for the first time, Ben is recognizing what I've been telling him, what I've been seeing. And so now he's going to look at things through different eyes. I've been telling him that Will doesn't care about anybody else but himself. He only cares about his own money and how he can make things work for himself. His friend is even asking to come back. And I asked Joey, I said, do you think Will would ever hire him back? And he goes, I don't know. I don't think so. I said, why not? He goes, I don't know. But I think he does know. Because I think his friend Jeremy recognized what Will was trying to do. And what Jeremy wouldn't allow it. And because now Joey was in a vulnerable state, in a vulnerable position, and he didn't have anyone to defend him. Now he was prey to a scrupulous hunter. This was my assignment. But my main assignment is my husband. My main assignment is to teach him how to be the way God wants him to be. And so now that he understands the impact that we have on people, he is going to go deeper in with God and go deeper into understanding what it is God wants him to do. Seek the Lord. Seek God in everything you do. If it doesn't seem like it's what God would tell you to do it anyway. Because better to make a mistake and God forgive you than you not to take that step forward and say, this isn't God's voice. Many times I have stepped out not knowing if I was hearing correctly. And it turns out it was Lucifer trying to make me think that I wasn't hearing correctly. I pray that the words that I speak, the testimonies that I provide to you, are helping you along your path. Because sometimes when we feel afraid, God allows the fear to push us forward so that one day when we turn around, we won't have any more fear. But I can tell you, the spirits that are coming in the next level, they're not afraid, and they will push back. I've met some of them already. And it's taken me a moment to say, what is this? But I have such faith in my Father that I know that I can sit in that instant, ask him for help, and he sends the help in that minute. I pray that all of you seek Father in this hour. I love you, my brothers and sisters, and keep moving forward.